Alright, today I'm going to show you how to caramelize an onion. The first thing we need to do is julienne the onion. So we're going to cut the bottom of the onion off and the top. We're going to lay it flat, cut your onion in half, peel the outer layer off. Okay, and I'm going to show you this technique. You're going to take the onion, you're going to stabilize it with your hand and your fingertips, and you're going to take your knife, use your knuckles to guide the knife, and you're going to do nice, thin strips of onions, just like that. That's julienne. They're nice and fine, perfectly julienne pieces. Again, use your knuckles to guide the knife. The reason we cut it that way, as opposed to this way, you can julienne it this way if you want, but you're going to get inconsistent sizes of the onion. When you julienne it from the side like this, you get perfectly consistent pieces of onion. So when you cook it, they all cook the same and have the same texture. So once again, stabilize your onion, use your knuckles to guide your knife. Once you've julienned your onion, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter in a saute pan about medium-low heat. You have to have a lot of patience. Caramelizing onions, the correct way, takes a little time. You want to do it on a low temperature. So it slowly, as an onion cooks, it releases natural sugars and it caramelizes itself. That's why caramelized onions are sweet, because we're not adding sugar to them. They have their own sugars, okay? A couple tips when you're dicing or julienning onions in your kitchen. The first thing I think is very important is have a very sharp knife. Okay, so when you're cutting an onion, the less you bludgeon the knife, say you have a dull knife and you're trying to chop your onion, you're really bludgeoning the onion and it's releasing more of those gases that make you cry. So use a very sharp knife, number one. Number two, make sure your kitchen's fairly ventilated, maybe has some nice airflow, maybe your air conditioner blows through your kitchen. And then number three, try to breathe through your mouth and not your nose. So if it helps you, it may be a little silly, but if you hold a piece of bread in your mouth while you cut your onion and you breathe through your mouth and not your nose, and that will help you as well. Okay, we're going to put our pan on medium-low heat. Like I said, we want a nice low flame. We want the onions to slowly cook and release the sugars, okay? So I have 2 tablespoons of butter, our 1 large onion julienne. Just add it right in there. Now, a couple keys to this. Number one, don't add salt right away, okay? You want to let your onions cook for a little while and start to caramelize before you add salt. If we added salt to these raw onions right now, salt pulls out moisture, okay? And your onions would start to steam and boil instead of caramelize. Second thing is you don't want to continuously stir your onions. You want your onions to sort of be stationary for like 5 minutes at a time. So when they're stationary, they're cooking and caramel and cooking slow. If you keep stirring them, you're not going to achieve a good caramelization. You're just going to keep agitating them. You want them to actually just sit there and sear on that low heat with the butter while and then stir every 5 minutes or so, just so we'll have a nice even caramelization of your onions. This is going to take about 20 minutes or so. So in about halfway through the process, we'll check back on our onions and see how we're doing. So we're about halfway through the process. You'll notice we're starting to caramelize. A little bit of caramelization. I've stirred it maybe twice. Our onions are definitely nice and soft. The aroma is wonderful. We're halfway through at this point. Go ahead and season it with your salt and pepper. Pinch of salt. Pepper. And again, let it sit in about 5-6 more minutes. Give it another stir, and then we'll check on it in a little while. We're almost there, guys. We have a couple more minutes because, as you can see, our onions are caramelized. We just have a few stragglers around the edge that need to cook a little bit more, but you can even smell the sweetness of the onions. They should make a candle, a caramelized onion candle. It smells so good. So we're gonna give this about 2 more minutes, and then we're just gonna take it off the heat, and we'll just let it sit in the pan and rest.